Mistake number 4 is not establishing separate accounts for each of your beneficiaries. Let me tell you why. Beneficiaries have different ages, and because of that, they have different life expectancies. For example, a 12-year-old inheriting part of your retirement plan has a life expectancy of 72.8 years, while another beneficiary, age 45, has a life expectancy of 38.8 years. If separate accounts do not get established, both beneficiaries will be treated as if they had the life expectancy of the oldest beneficiary, which is 38.8 years. Let me give you some numbers to make this clear. Here's an example of a man who lost his wife years ago. He had 2 beneficiaries that he cared about. They were his only daughter, age 45, and his 12-year-old grandson. And what he decided in the event of his death, he wanted half of the money to go to his daughter and half to go to his grandson, $100,000 each. Here's what happens without separate accounts. They will both need to use the life expectancy of 38.8 years, the life expectancy of the 45-year-old daughter, because separate accounts were not established. At a 5% rate of return, these numbers are rounded off a little bit. For the 45-year-old over her life expectancy, that $100,000 will pay out $313,000. Well, guess what? The 12-year-old is going to be treated identically. Why? Because they're having to use the same life expectancy, and we're assuming the same rate of return. So if you add up the total of all these distributions, that $200,000 inheritance of the daughter and the grandson paid out $626,000. That's more than 3 times the initial amount, and that looks pretty good. But if you're an expert and you understand separate accounts, you're going to set up the beneficiaries with their own separate accounts. Why? Take a look at what happens with the same $200,000 disbursement, $100,000 to each when you establish separate accounts. So the daughter and the grandson are still going to inherit the same $100,000. Because separate accounts were established, they now can use their individual life expectancy for the payout. And the daughter still uses 38.8 years, but the grandson now gets to use 70.8 years. So for the daughter, nothing changes. It's going to pay out roughly $313,000. But look at this next number closely. The grandson has one $100,000 inheritance, but over 70.8 years instead of the 38.8 years he was given before. At 5%, it is going to pay total income of not $313,000, but 3 times that much, $945,000. The total of all distributions now jumps from $626,000 to over $1.2 million. And that's all because of one simple thing that maybe somebody forgot to do or hasn't been trained to do. And that's to make sure separate accounts got established for beneficiaries that have different ages. If you have beneficiaries with different ages and you want to know how to do this, please make a note so we'll be sure to talk about it.